brought some of our friends along from the Worst Take Network, Mike Defran, AJ Torres, Tyler Crowder. I'll let you guys kind of pitch your podcast here quickly, and then what we're really here for is to make our predictions for the Super Bowl and what we see happening. So let's kick it off up in the corner there. Tyler, tell us about your show.
What's going on, guys? My name's Tyler Crowder, host of Kicking It with Crowder podcast. I'll be going live tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, just talk Super Bowl talk as well. So, guys, check it out. Check my podcast out anywhere you get your podcast, football, baseball, basketball. I talk it all. So, excited to be on Sports Fluent tonight with Anthony.
AJ Torres. We got your team in the Super Bowl this weekend, so we're gonna ride you a little bit and see if we can't get Tom Brady to knock you off of your throne a little bit. But tell us about your show.
Oh man, how are we doing, everybody? I'm AJ Torres. Under the Worst Take Network, I got a couple of shows. Baseball one, calling strikes, and we do one that's every kind of football, the All Football podcast, as well as Texans Talk, which is a Houston Texans podcast I do with Josh McSwain. And I know it's going to be a hard night. I'm hopefully prepared, and, well, let's have fun with it.
All right, Mike Defran, our resident Seattle Seahawk insider.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Mike Defran, also of the Worst Take Network. I have my own podcast, The Defran Experience, talking about all things NFL. You guys can check me out wherever you get your podcasts. I have a YouTube channel, Defran. You look me up there, a bunch of good videos. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and thanks for having me on today, Anthony.
All right, guys. So the reason we're here is to make our predictions for this week's Super Bowl. We've got obviously the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending champs, AJ's team with Patrick Mahomes going up against the legend, the GOAT, if you will, Tom Brady, first year with the Bucs, and he's made it to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to start with, before we make predictions and scores in that, I'm going to start by asking you guys, if Patrick Mahomes loses this game, sorry, AJ, but if Patrick Mahomes loses this game, does he have any opportunity of becoming the GOAT in 10, 15 years if his competition's clearly going to be Tom Brady and they met head-to-head and he lost to him? Does he have any chance if he loses?
No. Because if you look at Super Bowls are what everybody looks for, right? And so in that case, Brady would have 7, Mahomes would have 1. Even if assuming Mahomes gets 6 more, it's 7-7. Brady has the tiebreaker. And let's not forget that Brady also beat him in the AFC Championship game. It'll be really, really hard. I don't think it's possible for Mahomes to ever catch Brady if he loses on Sunday.
AJ, I see you sitting back in your chair, so I'm going to go to you next because I'm assuming if you're a Chiefs fan, you got to be a Mahomes guy. Other than doing something,
the Super Bowl apparel. This is the Super Bowl hat and the jerseys they had.
I'm not surprised.
I was originally gonna get Matthew, but that's sold out the quickest out of all of them.
Wow.
But that being said, we could play the what ifs, right? But there's too many what ifs in sports, so I'm just gonna have to say no. Because if you want to go by rings, right? What is the window for every franchise? Because it's different with football because the salary cap situation is starting to get so annoying. You got to continuously learn how to retool and, get everybody on board. That's why the Patriots have been so successful with it. Do I think Mahomes could win? I guess you could say, can he attend to 4, let alone win 4? I just don't think that the Patriot dynasty or anything of the sort could be done again. So it doesn't matter what Mahomes has. It doesn't matter how long Hill, Kelsey, Reed, any of those guys are. I just think if you go by ring-wise or if you go by just the dominant years, Tom Brady, if he's really going to play, one more year after this, logically speaking, there's just no way. No disrespect to my guy, but when you say greatest of all time, not just GOAT, when you say it, the full thing, my answer is no.
Yeah. And I know you hate to say it because that's the thing. If he and again, this is the pressure that for his legacy, whether he thinks about it or not, from us looking at it, from his legacy, if he loses, he would have to now win more Super Bowls than Tom Brady. and, beat any of his records, whether it be yards, touchdowns, etc. And people will still always go back. Just think, if Jordan played LeBron in the finals and one of them played, there's no more debate. It's, well, sorry, I don't care if he's, been to 20 and won 10, he lost to him in the final. So Tyler, do you think he has a shot if he loses?
Yeah, I do honestly think he still has a chance, because here's the thing. How many seasons does Mahomes play? That's the thing with me. I mean, with what they have going on right now, Andy Reid and this offense, Travis Kelce, the most dominant tight end I've seen in my lifetime. I've seen some great tight ends. Travis Kelce's the best across the middle that I've seen. Tyreek Hill can push a defense like no other team. As long as they have those three guys for, say, next 4 to 6 years, how many more times does this team get to a Super Bowl? They're already, 2 out of 3 in Patrick Mahomes, since he's been playing for the Chiefs. Of course, he sat out,
his rookie year, yeah. So
rookie year, get to 10 like Brady did and win more. So I'm saying, yes, that could happen. But I don't really think I don't think they're going to have to worry about losing that game this weekend, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on.
So let me paint a scenario for you, because since you're the only one who said yes.
Yeah.
So let's say Mahomes plays 16 years. He goes to 8 Super Bowls. He wins 7. Okay. And he's 7-1. And the one loss is to Brady, who now would have 7 wins, 3 losses, but the head-to-head matchup.
Yeah. I mean, see, I'm
it's hard, right?
I'm banking on him. If he stays healthy, this is the best guy I've ever seen at the quarterback position, just how he can play the game of football. I mean, it's unreal. You watch his tape, and it's just, there's no one putting out tape as good as Patrick Mahomes. There's just not. There's never been a guy doing that, honestly. And there's been a lot of great quarterbacks in the NFL. Don't get me wrong, but Patrick Mahomes is just the best I've ever seen in just a short period of time. As Stephen A. Smith would say about Aaron Rodgers, he's a bad, bad man. And Patrick Mahomes is. He really is. And my thinking is he can get to 10 Super Bowls, Anthony. So that's why 10 Super Bowls. Can he get to 10 Super Bowls? Because he's going to have to get to 10. He's going to have to win more, too, to become the GOAT. So I really think Mahomes has the possibility, even with the loss, but it's just all depending on how many does he get to down the road. If he gets to 8, yes, I don't see him getting in that GOAT status. If he gets to 10, 11, 12, how many does he win? Yeah, I think that could happen. But it's all, it's all predicting the future.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard.
Let's see if we can flip Mike. Mike, Patrick Mahomes goes to 10 straight Super Bowls.
Oof.
And his only loss is this year to Tom Brady. 9-1, 10 straight Super Bowls.
At that point, yeah, you have to give it. He's got 2
That'd be the one scenario, right?
I mean, if he's got 9 Super Bowls, that's like 3 more than any other franchise. So yeah, I'd say you'd have to give it to him in that scenario.
Okay.
I think if he loses to Brady, unless he wins 8, I don't think he'd become the GOAT. That's my kind of thesis.
See, AJ, they're saying there's a chance.
I'm not saying there's not a chance, but just hear me out on this, right? If you remember, a lot of people told me that the Rams and Patriots Super Bowl is the worst one they've saw ever. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how you agree on that. But if you think about it, right, again with the what ifs. Now, I could go into how Kelce's a generational talent. Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman aren't going to run 22 miles an hour forever. Not saying they can't be like Larry Fitzgerald and play till they're,
100,
6, 38, whatever it may be. But it's just a system in place. Like I said, the Patriot dynasty, it was a well-oiled machine, and everybody had to be on board with that. There's just a big system with it, and no one else is going to be able to replicate that. But as much as they make me sick to my stomach, but hear me out on this one. There's one that's going to be driven back that affects that Super Bowl. And it is another what if. What if D Ford doesn't go off sides? He's like 3 feet off sides. But guess what? You know how many people I've heard put the game on Mahomes? Oh, he'll never be as good as Brady. Okay, first off, look at the guy's resume. The guy's in his 40s. Look at all the rings he has versus Mahomes. It's like what? The guy's like 23, 24 at the time. It's like, are you really going to compare that? Really?
Yeah,
Oh, what's next? Are we going to compare a rookie in the draft to Aaron Rodgers? Like, come on. You're going to put the what if on that one time where it should have been a good game, but no, he decides to be a dummy. I could really rant about this, but I want to keep my mouth clean.
Yeah.
He was stupid. He went off sides, but it's unfair to put that on Mahomes. It just is.
Okay. So that being said, let's dive into this weekend. First time ever, you have a home team hosting a Super Bowl. Tom Brady moves over, brings a friend along in Gronk. They've got an offense that is, looks like something you'd put together on a fantasy team.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a defense. And yet everyone I've talked to so far, right? Even Coach on my other show, the Coach and AK Experience, Coach Jackson even picked the Chiefs. Tyler, what does Tampa Bay need to do? Well, first let me get your pick and then tell me what each team needs to do to win.
All right. So it's no lie here. I love the Kansas City Chiefs. I love what they do. I love their play calling. I love all the little trinkets they throw at you on the offensive end. I mean, that's what I really enjoy about the game of football. So I enjoy what Andy Reid has done with this team, the weapons around him. Of course, if Patrick Mahomes he throws for 350 yards, a couple touchdowns, yes, the Chiefs are probably going to win this game pretty easily. But, this Tampa Bay defense is very, very underrated. And also they've gotten better throughout the season. They played very good in the postseason. And they're led by these two linebackers, Levante David and Devin White. And they just fly all over on the field. They also have Vea, who came back from an ankle injury earlier in the season. So he's back plugging up the middle of the field as well. And then you have Sean Murphy Bunting, who's come along at the cornerback position. But Carlton Davis, that's a real key for me. Can he shut down Tyreek Hill just a little bit? Okay, because in the first game, Tyreek Hill got the best of him. We all know 13 catches, 269 yards. 3 of the touchdowns were in the first half. So I really think it comes down to, can Pat Mahomes make a play late in the game? I think it's going to be a pretty close game. I'm going 36-31 Kansas City. So I think it's going to be a close game. I do have the Chiefs covering. That, of course, would put the over as well, over 56. So I'm going over 56. I'm also rolling with Kansas City. I think it's going to be a back and forth game. I don't think Kansas City has to come back like they did last year. I think it's going to be a real close game. And, Kansas City makes enough plays at the end. I think Travis Kelce is the X factor. Pinch me if you've heard that before, but Travis Kelce, what can these linebackers do to shut down Kelce? Because it just can't be done by one guy. One linebacker can't do it. One safety can't do it. It's got to be a team effort. Really, are you going to take away Kelce? You're going to take away Hill. You got to really pick your poison. You can't take away both. So I like Andy Reid. I picked the Kansas City Chiefs at the beginning of the season. I'm not going to change right now. So I'm going Kansas City on the repeat, and we'll see what can happen. But it's going to be a fantastic game. I didn't even mention Tom Brady in that whole sequence. That's really what it comes down to me. It comes down to Tampa Bay defense versus Kansas City offense. That's the matchup for me. But when Brady's on the field, watch out for Tyrann Mathieu. The guy's a Swiss Army knife. They line him up all over the field. He can play slot corner, safety. He can come get you. He blitzes a lot. The guy's a phenomenal player. Defensive guys, if you're watching this weekend, you play defense in high school, college, NFL, watch Tyrann Mathieu because he's going to put on a show. So I really want to see that matchup with Brady and Mathieu as well. But I just think Kansas City's too powerful, Anthony. And that's my pick, 36-31, Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. 36-31, Kansas City Chiefs. A nice high-scoring game, but still keeping it close. I like it. That sounds like it'll be entertaining. It's funny because we don't talk a lot about the Chiefs' defense. Mm-hmm. And that's, last year that was definitely their kind of Achilles heel. But they're better this year.
Playing really good lately.
And, it's funny. I talked about in the previous years when they were making those comebacks, and everyone was giving a lot of, and well-deserved to the offense and saying Chiefs offense, the way they were able to come back, it's fantastic. But just keep in mind, anytime you have a 30-7 comeback, there's a defense holding that other team to 7 that allows you to get those 30 points, right? Or whatever it was, a 23-0 whatever those comebacks are, your defense has to do enough to hold that team scoreless or limit their scoring too. So I think they were opportunistic in the past. I think they're better this year than last year. Mike, are we going to hear much different from you? Is anyone going to, let's see.
I got to be honest here. I am bad luck for every team that I pick this year.
Yes,
It seems that I seem that I am just bad luck. So if you're a fan of the team I'm about to pick, I'm sorry in advance if they lose. I take no responsibility. But I agree with a lot of what Tyler said. It's gonna the burden is gonna be on the Buccaneers defense. Can they not stop, but can they limit the damage that Mahomes, Hill, and Kelsey can do? One advantage for the Buccaneers defense is the Chiefs are going to be without their two tackles. Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz are out. Jason Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett are going to have a huge game. They're going to have to pressure Mahomes. It's something that the 49ers were able to do for a little while in the Super Bowl last year, but eventually Mahomes was able to find time and throw. But again, I agree with a lot of the same points. It's a lot of what we've been saying. Mahomes, that offense is amazing. Their defense is really good. Tom Brady, like you said, Anthony, it looks like it's like, a fantasy draft from 3 years ago. Their offense is really, really good also, but I can't pick against Mahomes. I'm sorry, AJ. I'm sorry. I can't pick against Mahomes. I believe the over is 56.5 and the Chiefs are favored by 3. I'm going to take the Chiefs 35-30, right around where Tyler said. I agree with pretty much everything he said. And AJ, I am so sorry, man.
So I'm going to leave AJ for last, obviously, because you're a Chiefs guy. So I'm going to tell you, I've been bad luck for the closest team to where I live. So the Bills are about an hour and a half down the QEW from Toronto. And I picked against them because I just thought they weren't ready for a playoff run. I thought they were a really good team, but I think they're going to be like next year is their year. And so I picked against them every round, and every round they won. Mm-hmm. And so the 1 week that I picked them,
they lost.
So every streak can end is my point, Mike. So even though if you picked, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Bad year.
Yeah. So as I stare at a guy in a Chiefs jersey, it sounds like we're all on the Chiefs. And I'll tell you my pick, but then I'm going to tell you why I think the other side will win. So the Chiefs, I have them 37. I even have the scenario 37-35. Chiefs win with a Butker field goal at the end. So they're down by a point. Mahomes puts them in position. Butker kiss. Like I've already played it in my head. That's what happens. And you see Brady just put his head down and walk off into the sunset. I've played it all in my mind. So that's my actual pick. However, I have a really hard time picking against Brady when he's going up against a team that typically, right, isn't going to get to him a lot. Typically. So if you hit Brady, if you can sack Brady, if you can make his life difficult, right? The Giants did it a couple of times in the Super Bowl. We saw the Eagles do it that one year. Like that's how you beat Tom Brady. You get to him. And I don't know if the Chiefs will put enough pressure on him. And if he's got time, right? There's a reason he's the best to ever do it. If he's got time to throw, I don't see the Chiefs defense, right? I see this shootout where the Chiefs defense just can't keep up with them. So, I'd ask you guys, what does each team need to do to win? I think the Chiefs just need to go out and play their game, right? We forget if you take out the last week where they kind of played their backups to rest, they were 14-1. I don't care if they won by 1.770. They were 14-1 in the games that they played their starters. That's the number you need to look at. Forget any other stat. They're 14-1. So they should win this game. But if they can't apply pressure on Brady, look for Brady, they got to keep the ball. And that's why my scenario is Butker kicking that field goal at the end. Because if Brady has the ball at the end, they lose, right? Like I think they lose. So yes. I'm saying that's how the Bucs can win. I'm still sticking with my Chiefs because I also picked the Chiefs at the beginning of the year to repeat. And now we're gonna end this. Our anchor to take us home. If you pick the Bucs, I might get up and walk away. But AJ, tell us why you're picking the Chiefs.
Well, unfortunately, you might want to put your headset down gently, unlike Defran, because I had Bucks win 31-27.
Oh my God, AJ,
Hey,
bro,
You're joking.
you gotta. I don't know what to say,
honest
bro.
to God, man, I really have. Now, mind you, right? Every single time where I said to myself, you know what, they can't stop this guy. But as far as my concerns, I think I have a point. The fact that my offensive line is in shambles,
Yeah.
the
I get
fact that
that.
you got all these guys. Look at the injuries right now. Legarius Sneed, he's a rookie, but he's an X factor. Now listen, if you're gonna give me this garbage about Sammy Watkins, I'm pretty sure that McCole Hardman and Byron Pringle have sufficed. I'm not worried about Sammy Watkins. He's not coming back next year. That's just that. But if you look at it, right? If you give Tom Brady room on third down, it's going to be a complete pass and it's going to be another first down. And he's going to chip away and bring it down your throat. You know what I mean? If you give a guy, right? Let's say there's 25 seconds left of the fourth quarter. They kick the ball off. It's a touchback. And surprisingly, even myself is kind of thinking to myself, is 43-year-old Brady going to be able to gunsling the football? Well, he shut me up pretty good this whole year, right? He
Yeah.
proved me wrong. I don't care if it's avocado ice cream. I don't care if it's kissing your son in the mouth. He's somehow done it.
It's
Listen,
yoga with Giselle.
listen,
That's actually the
this
secret.
guy is my kryptonite. There's
Yeah.
nobody in here in the worst take or anyone who's around Sports Fluent that hates Tom Brady more than I do. I see
28
the
to 3. How many
bad.
times I gotta say
I could-
28 to 3?
Hey,
I
I
don't
could
know,
put up.
man.
I could put up
Listen.
an argument too, as well. AJ.
Hey,
I
listen.
respect him.
I like Tom Brady.
I respect him.
Get out of
I
here.
used to not like him, but I respect him. It's hard not to respect him. I mean, the guy's. I mean,
It
what he's
just-
doing at 43.
He's like Darth Vader. You just kind of have a fear for the guy.
All I have to say is
Listen,
two things. The reasons why I don't hate the Patriots and I don't hate Tom Brady. One, the last time my Bears won a Super Bowl was 46-10 against the Patriots.
Yes.
So I don't hate him. And this season, we beat Tampa Bay. So
Oh yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
good.
The whole fourth.
That was my Super Bowl. I'm good.
That was
you
awesome.
mean when we thought Tom Brady had dementia or something going on?
Yeah,
Fourth
Yeah.
down?
Fourth down. No fourth down. Yeah.
And one more
that
thing,
just,
Anthony,
that just
I-
seemed to
Nick
turn around the
Foles.
whole season. Oh my God.
something I think that's real important in this game. I forgot to talk about. What team can limit what defense can limit the offense in the red zone? If you can hold teams to if you can hold the Kansas City Chiefs to field goals instead of touchdowns, you set yourself up for a real opportunity. But the Chiefs in the
Tampa,
red
because
zone
Chiefs
are
have no offensive
something.
line.
Yep, exactly. That's
AJ
another thing.
AJ, you got to be the most humble sports fan I've ever met in my life, dog. I've never
Hey.
I pick the Seahawks every single week to win, and you're not even picking your Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It's blowing my mind right now.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, I'll just say this, right? Last year I was doubtful and I was popping champagne in my backyard. So whatever works, right?
Yeah, reverse psychology. I love it.
Listen, you're humble. Sometimes the reverse psychology works. And like I said, if this is going to be a Chiefs loss, this is going to be the worst. This is going to be the most painful moments I've ever experienced as a sports fan. And I've seen the Yankee 2004 meltdown. I've seen organizations cheap out. I've seen pains along my team. And to be honest with you, I think the main reason why I hate Brady is of two things. Regardless of all the success, there's been controversy, and then just the fans. The fans that haven't been here since before the 2000s, that somehow, got like a Brady jersey for Christmas.
Yeah.
They've been talking how this guy's going to surpass everybody since I've been in the fourth grade. Defran, I don't even think you were born yet when they were raving about this guy. So I don't want to hear anything about getting playing the Super Bowl, all right? I've experienced more pain than you have, probably more than you'll have in your entire life.
I'll tell you what. If you do lose on Sunday, you text me and Tyler. We'll get you through it, man. It sucks. It's a rehab center.
All I have
Listen, I'll be all right.
all I have in recent memory is the double doink, which is horrible, but it ain't that bad. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna ask you guys to hold on a second because I'm gonna end the live stream, and then I want to ask you guys a couple other questions, and we'll record it, and then we're gonna post it out afterwards. So bear with me 1 second.
All right.
No problem.
All right. It's kind of like bonus coverage. We're gonna, because I'm not sure, just to be honest with you, if everybody was able to hear all of your comments, because I had someone chat say, "Hey, we can't hear Tyler." And I said, "Can you hear it? Can you see him?" And I was like, "Yeah, we can see him." So I'm not sure if the audio was great. I know that it's recording well, so we'll send it out. I'll put it out on YouTube and Twitter and all that stuff, kind of like in about half hour, just the raw. Like I don't need to edit anything. I'm gonna send it out. But now that we're off live, what do you think is the craziest thing? This will be the bonus question for everybody. The craziest thing or X factor that might come out of this weekend's game.
You want me to start, Anthony?
Yeah.
All right. So another guy that's on the Kansas City defense who's been making play after play back there in the secondary with Tyrann Mathieu. I really wanted to bring him up the first time I talked, but David Sorensen, 49 for the Kansas City Chiefs. He caused that big fumble at the goal line against Cleveland a few weeks ago. He's a guy who's been making a lot more plays. He used to be a guy they bring in passing situations, and now he's a full-time starter in the league. Look for him to make a play here, play there when it matters the most. And I think Mahomes is if the Chiefs win, Mahomes pretty sure going to get the MVP, but just a guy who to watch out for, maybe get the defensive MVP award. David Sorensen, a guy who, 49, come up and hit you, doesn't covers guys well as, he's more of a thumper, but he can cover. And him and Tyrann Mathieu, those two are the guys to watch out for on the Kansas City defense. And then as far as Tampa Bay goes, Shaq Barrett, can he have like a Von Miller type moment like Von Miller did against the Carolina Panthers in 2015? Can he do that? Again, he's come on late. He's had a sack and a half last week, I believe. So that's a guy who's going to be trying to get paid this offseason. Of course, was franchised this year. So can he have that Von Miller 2 to 3 sack moment and win MVPs? That'd be huge if he could do that and Tampa Bay wins. Of course, Brady, it depends on how his stats are. Those are the two favorites for MVP, of course. But I guess Shaq Barrett and then David Sorensen, two guys to watch out for some really some good payouts right there if they win MVP.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say bold prediction, but AJ, you already gave one by picking the Bucks, but give me something like.
I got more.
All right, good. Let's hear it. I love it.
All right. There's actually some things I've told the guys, and this is now, I don't gamble on games that involve my teams. It's a superstition thing. But as far as X factors for Tampa, I've actually been betting. You know how they do yards plus or more. I've been betting betting minus for Mike Evans, because you've been seeing plenty of games where it's like, okay, he's got a touchdown, but he's got like 3 yards. He caught one in the red zone. That's it.
Didn't he have a game? 2 receptions, 2 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Earlier this season.
It was something stupid.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there's been like some of them where it's just like, hey, plus or minus like 46 yards, and I'm like, taken.
Mm-hmm.
Like I actually took it against the Packers 2-1. I think he's not really an X factor because I think Brady spreads the ball better than anybody. But I really think that with a lot of injuries in the secondary, I'm wondering who's going to step up for that one. Do I think Murphy Bunting could potentially be one of the rare ones to win MVP? It's possible. Just simply because one thing you got to take note with Mahomes, he has the number 1 this year as far as dropped interceptions. That is huge. That's more than what you think. And if those were actually caught, there's going to be a couple people chirping about Jameis Winston comparisons. As far as the Chiefs go, one name that you think of, but you haven't heard of his name all year, Chris Jones. What's the one thing that not many people have been able to do with Brady his whole career? Keep in mind, this guy has one of the best offensive line coaches in all of football. In fact, one of the best in all of history. Ever notice that how some of these guys that go for the Patriots, they seem to find the guy from the freaking parking lot and he ends up becoming solid? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We've all seen it before. And you've also noticed how there's like, watch Joe Thuney this year too. If he lets him go, remember Nate Solder? That guy can't even take out the trash for me. He's horrible. That's just plain and simple. But the offensive line, right? Every time you give Brady time to move, he's going to do damage.
Yep.
We know who Frank Clark is. Super Bowl veteran multiple times. What about Chris Jones? Is he going to be able to just shove it right through the grap and give Brady some time? Or is he going to shut him up? Now, listen, I'm negative. I'm humble, but it's worked. But please, if I were to win, I'd want Chris Jones to just give it to him. Shut him up. Put him on his back.
He might need to. Mike, whether it's a bold prediction, an under the radar guy, what are your thoughts?
I do actually have a bold prediction, and I might get attacked by the Steelers fans, but I think that the two ex-Steelers in this game, Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, have huge games. You saw last
year. Hell no.
You should listen to me. You can call me defraud, do whatever. Last year in the Super Bowl, who would have won MVP if not for Mahomes? Williams, the running back. Nobody had him doing anything, and he had a great game.
Can I pause you there for a second? I to this day think Williams should have been the MVP.
Right, Mahomes won because he's Mahomes. Yeah.
I love.
He had a great game. Absolutely, he had a tremendous game. I think the Chiefs in this Super Bowl are going to want to play more ball control offense, and like AJ said, not give Tom Brady the ball. I think they're going to try to run the ball a little bit. I think Le'Veon's going to get some touches. I think he'll have some nice gains. On the flip side, I think Antonio Brown provides that extra weapon for the Buccaneers because I don't love the Chiefs' corners. I think if Antonio Brown, he's a guy that has great chemistry with Brady. They've been friends for years. I think he hasn't played in a Super Bowl since I think his rookie year. I think those guys both have great games, and I think Big Ben Roethlisberger is watching on his couch with tears down his eyes. That's my prediction.
So I'll say this.
Get the hell out of here.
I would say Antonio Brown. I would say Antonio Brown is a sneaky one. I have a really hard time thinking Le'Veon Bell is going to have a big game though. Antonio Brown maybe. Antonio Brown maybe.
Why Bell won't be? Because if you remember last year, right? Did you notice that Shady McCoy for the last 3 or 4 weeks in the NFL, the regular season, was a healthy scratch?
Mm-hmm.
You want to know why? Because the guy carried the football like this. Carries it like a friggin' loaf of bread. And you can't have that. I'm sorry. If you carry the football like a loaf of bread, fumble-rooski, you can't do that. You can't do that if you're trying to clinch or get a bye week or win a Super Bowl. Last week, Le'Veon Bell was inactive, and I'm sorry. What offensive line does he have to run the ball?
That's my point, though. I think that they want to take some pressure off Mahomes and try to run the ball. And like you said, nobody's predicting Williams to have a great game.
I'd rather put Anthony Sherman be another blocker. Why the hell would I put Le'Veon Bell in the backfield? What's wrong with you?
AJ, I really shut the cord with
this. Why it's not Clyde?
Let him have his bold prediction. So here's my bold prediction, because I'm a historian, or maybe I'm just old, but for whatever reason, I feel Tom Brady is going to get. I'm having these flashes of the Denver Broncos where
I'm gonna need a sick bucket. Jesus.
Yeah, oh yeah, the center's gonna like overshoot him, and the ball's gonna bounce into the end zone.
That's a great memory for me.
Yeah, and they're just gonna dive on it, get an early touchdown, and the Bucs are gonna be playing catch up all game. I don't know why. I have a feeling that something weird like that type of play is gonna happen, and it's gonna kind of set the tone for the game, because how often do we see, like, we predict it and it's just a straight up back and forth, and there's nothing like that. There's going to be something like that. And in my opinion, it's going to be early. It's going to be, right. It's not going to be Tom Brady's fault. He knows how to handle the pressure in the Super Bowl, but it's all those other guys who've never been, and they're playing at home. And I think they said there's going to be 25,000 fans, which is ridiculous considering COVID, but they haven't played in front of a bunch of people. It's Florida, fair enough. They haven't played in front of a bunch of people this season, right? I think someone's going to get jittery and is going to do something dumb like that, and that's going to kind of set the tone for the game. So that's my bold prediction. I'm going to let you guys all have one kind of final last word before we sign off, and it's going to be two things. One, it can be about the game, and then two, where people can find you. And we're going to start with Ty. Oh, no, we're starting with Mike. We're starting with Mike this time.
All right. One last thing I'll say.
Sorry, guys.
One last thing about the game. Chiefs fans, I'm sorry if you guys lose. I might have to deactivate all social medias. It'll be a rough day. But on a real note, you guys can find me on Twitter at Mike Defran. YouTube is Defran. I'm posting videos. I have a Super Bowl video coming out tomorrow, actually. So make sure to check that out if you're interested. And let's have a good game on Sunday. Let's see a good game. That's all I'm excited for.
All right, where can we find you, AJ? Go Chiefs.
Well, go Chiefs. Like I said, please, even though I'm negative, please do me a favor and win this game so it's not the worst sports memory I'm going to have for the rest of my life. If Mahomes does pull through, I have a bold prediction of Tom Brady not shaking his hand because he's salt of the earth. Did with Nick Foles twice, one of the games, which it didn't even matter. So I just think it's Tommy Sour Grapes. I digress. You could find me on Twitter, Relentless41. That's where all my content would be. And that's just really it. I'm a nervous wreck. And even though I'm humble and a lot of people think I'm negative, if it's worked so far, I hope it'll work again. So
wear those lucky socks. Tyler, last word, where we can find you.
All right, Anthony. First off, Daniel Sorensen, my bad. It said David. Meant Daniel Sorensen for the Chiefs, 49. Got to correct myself right there. Got caught up right there. So that's first. Second off, guys, I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl. My favorite thing about the Super Bowl are the prop bets, like we talked about earlier. What color, real quick before we go, what color do you guys got being dumped on Andy Reid after they win on Sunday? Because I think Blue's got
blue.
A good, blue, orange, clear. I mean, that's a cool little bet it's got some good money behind it. So guys, if you want to put some money on that, I'm going blue this year.
The first one that popped into my head was blue. I'm with you. I'm with blue.
Yeah, blue all the way. Blue all the way for sure.
I mean, and then
the Reds,
guys,
you can also find me. Well, yeah, they'll do it. Like the last 9 years, they've kept up with the color. So, but guys, you can also find me on Kicking It with Crowder. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio. I'll be going live tomorrow on Facebook. If any of you guys want to join the live, just type in Kicking It with Crowder on my page, and y'all can join in. We'll be talking Super Bowl stuff. So thanks for having me on, Anthony. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, you got it, guys. And obviously the Sports Fluent podcast, you can find it at sportsfluent.com, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, sports_fluent. Good night, everybody.